Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and today we're taking a look at Ancestry. Or is it Ancestory? Because I certainly don't remember there being an O in it, but either way, that's what the game is called, and this is an interesting one, because you've probably already noticed the deck builder button right here, which I will get onto in just a moment. So of course this is the first look at the game, and we're going to have a look at what's what, essentially. So of course, if you look at the art style right here, it's a little bit Aztec voodoo mix sort of thing going on here. This is the shaman that you play as. And if I were to describe this game, it is a bit it's a turn-based tactics game with Hearthstone. Basically, if Hearthstone and XCOM had a baby, that's what this would be. So let's have a look at it. So, of course, let's just jump into the deck builder. Kind of show you exactly how much like Hearthstone this is. Of course, this is blank. That's not a bug, it's because I don't have any decks made. So we go to a new deck here. A little bit of screen tearing going on for some reason. I'm not sure if you're seeing that too. I might have to turn VSync back on. But yeah, so these are all the minion cards. These are basically the characters that you can draw. And if you notice, these are the same stats right here, 3, 2. This is what you'd see on a Hearthstone card. The addition, of course, here is range and movement speed, because of course this is a tactics game, so this is the range that they can move to, and this is the maximum range of their attack. So of course anything with 1 range means it can attack 1 square. Basically it's a melee only character, but if it has 2 or more, they can attack from much greater range. So this character here, the Mintu, has a spear, which means they can attack up to 2 squares away, something to bear in mind. And of course they also have some special abilities, like for example the whirling attack will do 3 damage to all adjacent enemies, which is very nice. So okay, let's jump back out of here. Now we don't need to save that, I haven't done anything. And let's just see what the game's all about. So let's jump into a single player. Multiplayer seems to be the default option, with good reason actually. This is intended to be a multiplayer game. So we're going to jump into single player here, and let's go to a random map. There are a few maps, actually. Fair few maps here. I haven't been to the desert ones yet, so we'll just random it and see what we get. So, of course, I haven't really played a hell of a lot. Gotta be honest. Let's go with the basic deck this time. And let's begin. Alright, and here immediately you can see the similarities to Hearthstone are really playing out. So of course we have a choice to discard. From our starting hand we draw 3. I think I'm going to drop this one and this one, because these are 5 mana. You can see the mana cost is right here at the top left. Exactly the same as Hearthstone. So these are 5 and 8. They're late game or mid game. We're not going to get those anytime soon. So let's redraw. So of course you don't get to preview the cards. You just have the option of drawing and heading off. So, right, since we got a bit of time now, let's have a look at the map. So this is the map. Everything is divided up into these squares. You can see that sort of Aztec, Mayan kind of thing going on quite strongly here. And there are these white spinning pillars, or rather pillars with white markings on them. These are actually the totems. So these are basically totem stones, and they represent control points on the map. So in this map, there's 1, 2, and 3. So of course, this will be the contested one. This is meant to be sort of main base. Now, controlling these will add to the victory points, which is up to a total of 40 on this map. The different maps have different numbers of victory points based on how many totems they have. So the more totems are available, the more points you need to reach in order to win the game. So of course, this is also turn-based, and I have a counter right here. I don't have that much time left. And this is our hero character. So they have 20 health. And compared to the hero characters in Hearthstone, they have 10 less health, if I remember correctly. I haven't played Hearthstone in a long time. But they don't have the ability to attack on their own. Now, I don't know if there are spells that are going to give you weapons to attack with, but by default, you don't have that. So this is the movement range here. You can see 4, that means 4 squares away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Makes sense? But that's 4 in any direction. So I can even click here and that counts as 4. Somehow. I don't know how that works, actually. And that's our turn done. So we have our mana down here in the bottom right, and this will add on every single turn as well. And our enemy gets to take a turn. Now we can see where all of them are. But there are a couple of issues with that, which we'll get onto. So here we go. We can draw one of these. We can also play a spell. So right now we have the Mati, which is the simplest one that we can play. I can click that, and we can summon him anywhere in one of the adjacent squares to the Shaman. So I'm going to drop him down over here. Now this character also has charge, which means once he's been played, he's able to move and attack. And that's his attack range right there. But of course, that's the movement done. And I could cast charge here, but that's redundant because he already has charge, so we're just going to end our turn there. Okay, so now we have a few new cards here. We've got the Mintu, and we've got a lot of spells actually. We've got healing herbs too, which is going to be kind of useful later on in the game, because this is 4 health and, well, they're all fairly weak. They don't really need anything. Alright, so I'm going to move my Shaman forward. I want to capture this totem here, so I'm going to drop the Mintu over there. And... oh, that's kind of a fail. I wanted to cast charge, but I don't have enough mana for that. Never mind, it shall be ours next turn. Not an issue. So let's just click that. And if we end the turn with the Mintu on the square, that will be captured. So it takes place in between the turns, so you have to end the turn with your character sitting on the control squares, or tiles. In fact, I would go as far as to say that the actual characters themselves have a lot of similarity to characters in Hearthstone, in particular the styling of them, and the actual voice acting or dialogue options. So we can see in the top left as well what cards our enemy has played. If we don't see it on the screen, we can see it in the top left there. So he's actually drawn a Simo, which is an assassin character, low health, high damage, and reasonably high movement speed as well. In fact, we can actually click that one and see. He's got 4 movement speed, which is about the same as one of our basic minions over here. Yeah, which is actually a pretty decent distance. So we've captured this one. We're going to move up here, and I'm going to send different minions in different directions, kind of splitting the force a little bit, but I think that might be a good option. In fact, this is a good draw right here. We've got a ranged character, so you can see this one has 2 damage, but has... well, that one keeps popping up there. Has 5 movement, very fast character, not high damage, a bit more health, but has range on it, like actual proper range.
Where is my bow needed?
So this is more of a sniping type character. You can see the actual distance, the difference in the attack as well. So we can actually see that. In fact, we can move the Shaman a bit further forward. Shaman seems to be quite useful for capturing things, because they have a lot of health. Now, here's the thing as well. The main difference between this and Hearthstone, though. Hearthstone, if your hero dies, you're out of the game. Straight and simple, that is the victory condition. In this, however, if your Shaman is killed, he will respawn back at the center the following turn. But what that means is, if they are killed then, they are no longer able to spawn creatures for the remainder of that turn, which is quite a hindrance. So I'll explain if we do manage to kill the enemy Shaman. We shall see that. But what it is it's not a victory condition. So if you lose your Shaman, it's not the end of the game. As far as I can tell, you can continue playing. So the only way to really win then is to capture the totems. Unless, of course, you can annihilate the entire enemy team. But then again, not much point doing that because the shaman will respawn, as far as I can tell. So, there's not much else we can do here. I think, since we are going to go after the shaman, that's to random characters. That's +2 movement. Let's drop one on top of his minion here. So that's going to kill them. Alright, we are winning a little bit. Very slightly. There's a 1-point difference right now. So he's just cast... Well, he cast Fireball on my useful creature there. Which is kind of a shame. He's got another assassin there, and he's actually just attacked my shaman. Which is kind of not good. But you know what we'll do? We're going to root him. And he's going to stay there. And I'm going to go forward and capture. What did he actually kill? Oh, we can actually kill him. Oh, kind of. So what you just saw there is a retaliation. So it's the same as, again, in Hearthstone. If you attack a melee character, they're going to be able to attack you back. So the only way to prevent that is to be outside of their range. If you're within their range and you attack them, they're still going to be able to attack you back. Which is, yeah, it's exactly what you'd expect. I kind of didn't see that before I did that. Gotta be honest, that was probably not a smart move, but I think I can heal my shaman there. And... why not? Let's cast Storm. Well, I lost 1 minion. They lost 1 minion. It's kind of just down to shamans now, which is a little bit awkward. But in the next turn, I'm going to be able to cast... or I'm going to be able to draw my Elder Kaliki, which is a big angry lady. And she's got a lot of health. And she's also a support character. Or mainly she is a support character because she does basically no damage. Like 3 damage is not a lot in this circumstances against heroes, not against minions. But she's got 18 health, so she can really tank a lot of hits, and she can buff others around us. So, you know, that's pretty good. Now here's the thing. What I've just done is I've neutralized this totem. So they will no longer gain points from it, but I can't move yet because it takes another turn to then capture it. There we go. So you can see once the enemy turn is over, then it's mine. So it takes 2 turns to actually turn it over to your side. But for the duration of their turn, they weren't going to gain points. Points are added every single turn, so it depends on how many totems you have. These add 1 per turn, I think. I could be wrong about that. So we're gonna...
Some work for my blade.
I do believe I've actually just lost the Kaliki. No. Yeah, I have. No idea what happened there. He might have cast a spell or something, and I've just lost it. Well, that's a bit of a shame. So, yeah, as you can tell, I'm not particularly good at this game. Not at all.
What is it that you want? At least I get to keep my head this time.
Okay, so I've got an 11 mana minion here. And not much else. This is probably where I need to retreat. And there's nothing that I can play right now. I could have done... No, that doesn't affect me. It affects minions. Now, I do have a couple of issues with this game. One is camera control. So, the control for camera itself isn't really the issue. It's more the perspective. Because this is, of course, a board, like a very big board on a grid, occasionally parts of the scenery get in the way when you're trying to see your characters, and your characters are kind of small. So, for example, in this brush right here, it actually can be a little bit difficult to see your guys, especially if you go with the default camera view, which looks like that. The other thing that could be an issue as well is the indication of friendlies and enemies. Now, if you can't see that ring, for example, like this, mousing over is the only way to see that that's an enemy. If you have two next to each other, they kind of blend together unless you mouse over them, which can be tricky. I don't think it's clear enough as to which side each one is on. And if you have a look at the actual character designs, this one, the Keijo, the Keijo over here,
What is it that you want?
the only indicators that he's on the enemy team are these orange glows, and they're really, really small. So if you can't see the red ring, like that, he's impossible to tell what side he's on until you mouse over him. So I would have liked to see a little bit more distinction between the factions, but other than that, it's fine. It's just a small niggle of mine that's just like, I don't like that sort of, I suppose, vague distinction. But that's really just me. I mean, I'm sure more people might see things differently, I guess.
Not enough mana.
I don't have enough mana for that, so I'm kind of screwed. He can't kill it, though, hopefully. And we've just lost that totem there. We are quite far ahead, but this could turn in their favor pretty quickly if they capture that one, which he just might do. I don't know. The AI is a little bit finicky sometimes. I think he's going to go capture that. And they seem to be more interested in attacking the shaman than attacking the minion, which is fine for now. Although we are kind of surrounded now. So, that's an issue. Oh, this is kind of... I wish I could play that. I'm going to try to. And I'm going to grant charge. And... I don't have enough mana for that. Well, shit. Also, selecting enemies, I've just tried to attack the shaman and I've accidentally clicked them, so that's a bit of an issue.
You will never see it coming.
Oh, that was ready. So these are the special abilities here. So even if you draw a minion character out and give them charge like I did here, they still can't use that until the number of turns has actually passed. So this takes one more turn to prepare, which is a bit annoying. But I suppose it's fair for balancing. Maybe. I have no idea. A shaman's on the brink of death. He is so dead.
I will not be stopped.
So there we go, the shaman's dead. And, I believe he's going to respawn over here.
Better strike while the iron is hot.
But there we go, that was a ranged retaliation right there. So they attacked, even at range, because that minion was in the range of my minion, they would still be able to retaliate. So having long range is kind of a good thing. Let's try to do that. So, one thing as well, you can't move after attacking, you can only do it before. Yeah, so our shaman has respawned over here. So even after dying, we're still in the game. It's not, you know, it's not a death sentence for the actual game. Also, I can't seem to cast this. I think, yeah, that's a maximum range there. And that's a very high health character. So I might want to save that, actually. Just for a little bit. They are catching up, though. So that is an issue. Just having a look at what's going on in this game so far. We definitely are on the losing end. We were up for a little while, and I think now we've just kind of been screwed. See, one thing about this game as well, because it's a tactics game, having a lot of low-cost minions, because there's basically no limit to how many minions you can have on the board, the number of low-cost minions you can have is actually a very serious advantage that you can have too. So, while it's nice having these sort of very powerful characters that I've got here, in actual fact, a lot of low-cost ones as well would be just as good. In fact, in some cases better, because in this case we need more minions to be able to capture. Like, we're about to lose this one. So, that's the thing. We're about to lose this one, and they're about to capture that, so... Yeah, so that's been neutralized, and then that's been captured. So, it's now swung in their favor. So, I think what I want to do is I need to get... Let's get them... Get ourselves a little bit closer. And let's get a Mintu out. Let them charge. And... let's attack. So we've got more health than them, that should be okay. And we can drop a meteor on top of them, I think. There we go. So that's actually knocked both of them. That's a pretty decent move, if I say so myself. So we still have this one. I think I'm gonna go get rid of this character first. Yeah. We are gonna get retaliation though. But I think that might have been the better move in that case. That's a pretty powerful spell. But it definitely looks like he's got the better hand in this case. He's only got one card with him, but he's played all of the ones he had before. Mind you, that is a high cost spell that he's just used, but it definitely worked in his favor. Right, and there's another ranger that's not particularly useful for me at this stage. I could move myself a little bit further out and drop them there.
Where is my bow needed?
Let's hold on to that for a bit.
Where is my bow needed?
Oh, and he's just taking control of it. Yep. The enemy AI has a much better hand than me. That's for sure. And they are getting pretty close to winning now. So yeah, each totem gives you 1 point to a turn. You've just seen there went from 33 to 36 because they control all of the totems on the board. So this is pretty much over. In the next 2 turns, he's going to win this. There isn't much I can really do about that, other than that. Which is just a trade. It's not useful to anybody. I can move my shaman over here, but that's not really going to make much difference because they're still on it. So, yeah, this is a losing game. In fact, by the time it's my turn next, they've won. There we go. And of course there's a leveling progression system where you unlock more cards to play, and that will allow you to add more cards to your deck. Now, the cards themselves that you get are not crafted, they're just unlocked and you can use them immediately. The developers have said that there is no intention for there to be any microtransactions in future, so that means no card packs, none of that. I don't believe there will even be crafting cards because they're unlocked immediately. So this is basically what Hearthstone would be if you have the full game from the get-go, essentially. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Panzer taking a look at Ancestry. It's now available on Steam right now. In fact, it just launched yesterday for $15 or whatever your regional equivalent currency is. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you next time.